lifetimes of meditation, accumulates immense spiritual mass.
Wow.
Through pneumatic control, mastery of the air inside his own body, his energetic density becomes heavier than physical matter.
That's incredible.
So the syllable va invokes that profound internal power where the mastery of breath literally anchors the physical world.
But even the breath needs a container to move through.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings us to the final syllable of the map, ya,
Yeah. Space.
corresponding to space, or akasha.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, this is where the imagery gets incredibly weird.
It does.
The text describes the supreme lord of the universe as having a yaksha swarupa, the physical form of a yaksha. Well, I read this, I was genuinely confused.
Yeah, it throws a lot of people off.
A yaksha is essentially a mid-level demigod or a nature spirit. Why would the infinite supreme reality demote itself to take the form of a minor spirit?
It feels completely out of place for a hymn praising supreme divinity. But our sources offer two distinct explanations, both of which reveal the true nature of space.
Okay.
Space is the ultimate accommodating element. It holds the highest galaxies and the lowest dirt equally.
Right.
The first explanation is rooted in friendship. The god of wealth, Kubera, is the king of the yakshas. He performed immense grueling austerities out of pure devotion to Shiva.
And Shiva responds to the devotion, not the social rank.
Precisely. Shiva was so moved by this mid-level demigod's dedication that he gave Kubera a permanent corner of Mount Kailasa and publicly declared him a friend, Devasaka.
Ah.
By choosing to manifest in a yaksha form, Shiva elevates his devotee. He proves that the vast space of the divine accommodates the humble just as readily as the mighty.
The second explanation provided by the sources is much more dramatic and gets into the actual physics of divinity.
The Kenopanishad story.
Yes, it pulls from an ancient philosophical text called the Kenopanishad. The gods, Indra, Agni, and Vayu, had just won a massive cosmic war against a horde of demons.
Right.
And they were throwing a victory party, getting incredibly arrogant, boasting that they had won the war solely through their own individual might.
They fell into the illusion that their power was self-generated. They forgot that they are merely instruments of the supreme reality.
So to shatter this illusion, the Divine Mother manifests Shiva as a mysterious, towering column of brilliant light, described as a yaksha, right in the middle of their celebration.
And Indra, the king of the gods, is super annoyed by this interruption.
Yeah, he sends Agni, the god of fire, to interrogate this glowing pillar.
Right.
So Agni strides up, chest puffed out, declaring his absolute power to burn anything in creation. The yaksha listens, then simply places a single dry blade of grass in front of him and says, "Burn this."
And Agni unleashes his full cosmic fury, the same fire that supposedly destroys worlds.
But he cannot singe a single atom of that grass. His power is entirely neutralized.
Agni retreats in absolute humiliation.
Right, so Vayu, the god of wind, steps up. The yaksha says, "Move this grass." Vayu unleashes hurricanes and tornadoes, but the blade of grass doesn't even twitch. It is locked in place.
This completely breaks the gods' understanding of their own reality.
I bet.
When Indra finally approaches, realizing his sheer impotence, the pillar vanishes and the Divine Mother explains the mechanism of what just happened.
Okay.
They cannot burn or blow even a blade of grass without the divine will. The ya syllable, space, represents that invisible underlying divine matrix.
Oh, wow.
It is the silent, pervasive force that actually allows fire to burn and wind to blow. Without that spatial container, the greatest gods are completely powerless.
It reorients the entire hierarchy of power.
It really does.
So we've decoded the 5 parts of the map: earth, water, fire, air, space. But this is where I want to pivot the conversation.
Okay, let's pivot.
We've explored the mythological lore, the mountain balancing sages, and the physics of divine space. What is the practical application? Like, how does an individual listener today take this ancient philosophical map and actually use it?
Well, the beauty of this text is that it is not meant to remain abstract mythology.
Right.
The sources detail very specific physical symbols and meditative practices designed to internalize these cosmic truths. Consider the imagery of bhasma, or vibhuti, the sacred ash that Shiva is described as being smeared in.
The text breaks down the Sanskrit etymology of the word vibhuti in a fascinating way.
It does.
Vasitham means it shines or illuminates. Bhakshanath means it consumes or destroys sins. Uthi means it brings spiritual prosperity. And Raksha means it protects the wearer.
Applying that ash to the forehead is a profound psychological tool.
Okay.
The Journal on Virashaivism in our stack explains that the traditional 3 lines of ash are not decorative. They are an active, daily, cognitive, behavioral intervention.
Oh, it's interesting.
Every morning, the practitioner is forced to physically touch their forehead and remind themselves to destroy 3 specific burdens: arrogance, ignorance, and bad karma.
It is the ultimate equalizer. You are literally wearing mortality and the final state of all physical matter on your skin.
It forces you to confront the temporary nature of your own ego.
Right. Which ties perfectly into another descriptor Shankara uses in the text, Digambaraya.
Yes.
This translates to wearing the directions as garments, or being clothed in space.
To be clothed in space means to shed all self-imposed limitations, attributes, and labels. You're not your job, your gender, your wealth, or your social standing.
You are pure, naked consciousness.
Exactly. The Chinmaya publication source makes a vital point here. Realizing this boundless nature is the only known mechanism to overcome the 5 fundamental human fears.
Oh, 5 fears, yeah.
When you actively realize you are not confined by physical limitations, the fears that paralyze us, the fear of death, of loss, of disease, of insignificance, they lose their grip. They dissolve into the space.
And for practitioners looking for a highly structured, almost clinical physical practice to achieve that dissolution, the sources dive into the Virashaiva tradition.
Right.
This is a sect popularized in the 12th century by the philosopher Basavishwar. They have a radically different application of this philosophy centered around something called the Ishtalinga.
Right. Instead of worshiping a static idol in a distant temple, the Virashaiva tradition mandates wearing the Ishtalinga directly on the body at all times.
Well, at all times.
At all times. It is considered one of their Ashtavaranas, which translates to the 8 protective shields or coverings that safeguard the practitioner's spiritual progress.
And the Ishtalinga itself is not just a symbolic necklace. It is a precisely engineered biohacking tool.
Yes, the construction is very specific.
The sources describe its construction in intense, almost metallurgical detail. It's an outer covering made of a material called Kanti, which is a highly specific mixture of resin, cinnabar, lamp black, natural magnetite, and other elements.
All right.
This mixture is heated and formed to the exact size and shape of the practitioner's left thumb.
And the physical makeup is crucial because of how it is utilized in a scientific meditative practice called Tritaka.
Tritaka.
Yeah. The practitioner sits in a specific posture, places a burning oil lamp behind their left shoulder to create a specific lighting angle,
Yay.
and then holds the Ishtalinga 12 to 16 inches directly in front of their eyes. Then they gaze at the light reflecting off the dark Kanti material without blinking.
The journal explains the physiological mechanism of this perfectly.
Right.
By forcing the eyes to lock onto this thumb-sized object without blinking, the practitioner physically stabilizes the ocular nerves.
Right.
This extreme ocular stability acts as a trigger for the parasympathetic nervous system, which forcibly slows down the breathing rate.
And once the breath slows down, the rapid, chaotic firing of the mind is forced to quiet down.
It is a bottom-up approach to meditation.
Yeah.
You control the body to control the mind.
Exactly. But the Virashaiva texts claim it goes even further than mere relaxation.
Oh, really?
They assert that this specific gazing technique connects the brain's neurological energy to the physical linga, allowing the body's internal bioplasmic energy to synchronize with the universal energy.
Wow.
It is an ancient technique designed to physically merge the individual's consciousness with the divine space we discussed earlier.
It makes the abstract concepts of the Panchakshari Stotram incredibly visceral and tangible.
It really does.
Which brings us to the final destination of this map. Why go through all of this? Like, why chant the 5 syllables, wear the ash, or endure the intense concentration of gazing at the linga?
Well, the texts certainly list plenty of immediate earthly benefits. They state that chanting the mantra brings material prosperity, helps regulate modern neurological stress, and shields the practitioner from negative psychological energies.
But those are treated almost like side effects.
Right, just a bonus.
The ultimate goal, the true X on the map, is moksha, liberation.
Yes.
And the KKSFUSA notes provide a brilliant framework for understanding this, breaking down the 4 distinct types of moksha a practitioner can attain, depending on their level of realization.
It is a progression of spiritual intimacy. The first stage is salokyam.
Okay.
This translates to living in the same realm or dimension as the divine. Experientially, this is like moving to the same city as someone you deeply revere.
I see.
You don't know them personally, but you are enveloped in the culture and atmosphere they influence. You are in the right zip code of consciousness.
From there, the map zooms into the second stage, Samipyam. This is gaining nearness or proximity. You aren't just in the city anymore. You've been invited into the inner courtyard. You have a direct conversational relationship with the divine presence.
And then the third stage fundamentally alters the practitioner. It is Saripium, meaning attaining the same form or qualities as the divine.
Attaining the same form.
Yeah. Psychologically, this occurs when your devotion is so intense and your focus so unbroken that you begin to effortlessly emulate the attributes of what you are worshiping.
Wow.
You reflect the ultimate reality so clearly that the distinction between the worshiper and the worshipped begins to blur.
Which brings us to the absolute pinnacle of Shankara's map, the final, highest state, Sayujam.
Complete and total merger.
It is the drop of water finally falling back into the ocean.
Yes.
The individual ego, the personality, the separation, it all permanently dissolves.
Right.
You do not just reflect the divine, you become an indistinguishable part of the ultimate formless reality Shankar championed all along.
The entire journey of the Panchakshari Stotram is designed to facilitate that exact dissolution.
Yeah.
It takes the practitioner from the heavy, grounded physical reality of earth with the syllable na.
Moves them through the transformative flow of water and fire.
Right. Refines them into the subtle air of the breath.
Until finally, they dissolve completely into the boundless, invisible space of Yah, achieving Sayujam.
It is breathtaking when you step back and look at the entire structure.
It really is. We started with a 32-year-old monk writing a devotional poem, and we've decoded a 5-syllable combination lock. A masterstroke of spiritual compression that maps the fundamental elements of nature, contextualizes deep historical mythology, offers intense, neurologically active meditative practices.
And plots a step-by-step course for the highest forms of human liberation.
It is a comprehensive blueprint for reality, encoded in just 5 distinct sounds.
Exactly.
Which brings me to a final thought I want to leave everyone with today. Something to mentally chew on as you go about the rest of your week. If this ancient 5-syllable mantra, Na, Ma, Shiva, Ya, was specifically designed by these ancient thinkers to map perfectly onto the physical elements of earth, water, fire, air, and space.
Right.
What does that imply about the actual relationship between human language, vibrational sound frequencies, and the physical building blocks of reality itself?
That's a deep question.
Are we just speaking symbolic, culturally agreed upon words? Or when we produce these specific phonetic sounds, are we literally vibrating the underlying code of matter?
It definitely makes you think differently about the things we choose to say.
It really does.